When you need to build up your team to handle the growing chaos at work, use Indeed Sponsored Jobs. It gives your job post the boost it needs to be seen and helps reach people with the right skills, certifications, and more. Spend less time searching and more time actually interviewing candidates who check all your boxes. Listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. That's Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Need a hiring hero? This is a job for Indeed Sponsored Jobs.
Growing a successful business has never been easy. But whether you're navigating a complex industry or trying to reinvent one, our breadth of banking experts are here to collaborate on market-proven solutions. At KeyBank, we're built to grow with your changing needs because we're not just here for the business you are now, we're here for the business you'll become. Reimagine business as usual. KeyBank opens doors. Learn more at key.com/B2B.
Trading at Schwab is now powered by Ameritrade, giving you even more specialized support than ever before. Like access to the trade desk, our team of passionate traders ready to tackle anything from the most complex trading questions to a simple strategy gut check. Need assistance? No problem. Get 24/7 professional answers and live help, and access support by phone, email, and in-platform chat. That's how Schwab is here for you, to help you trade brilliantly. Learn more at schwab.com/trading.
You have one new message. Translating. Disney and Pixar's Hoppers is now available on Disney+.
You could say that again.
Critics are calling it Pixar's funniest movie ever and a wildly entertaining ride. Blizzard Potato. It's certified fresh and verified hot.
Now we party.
This is incredible!
Wow, I am clearing the rest of the day.
Disney and Pixar's Hoppers, now available on Disney+. Rated PG.
Study and play come together on a Windows 11 PC. And for a limited time, college students get the best of both worlds. Get the Unreal College Deal. Everything you need to study and play with select Windows 11 PCs. Eligible students get a year of Microsoft 365 Premium and a year of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with a custom color Xbox wireless controller. Learn more at windows.com/student offer. While supplies last. Ends June 30th. Terms at aka.ms/collegepc.
I'm proud to announce that today's episode is brought to you by Gelt, which you'll hear about later on in the episode and in the show notes. Imagine spending 20 or 30 years building wealth. You climb the corporate ladder, you build a successful business, you invest diligently, your net worth grows. On paper, you've won the game. Then one day, you decide you want freedom. Maybe you sell your company, maybe you retire, maybe you finally reached your financial independence number. That's when an uncomfortable question appears. Where does my income come from now? For years, your life was funded by a paycheck. Whether it came from your employer, clients, your business, there was always money flowing in. But when that paycheck disappears, many people discover something surprising. They have wealth, but they don't have cash flow. The traditional answer has always been simple: build a portfolio and withdraw 4% per year. But with rising costs, longer retirements, changing markets, many investors are beginning to question whether that approach is enough. Today's guest, Shawn, believes we're asking the wrong question altogether. The goal isn't simply to accumulate assets. The goal is to create income that doesn't depend on you showing up to work every day. In this conversation, we're exploring why so many investors, entrepreneurs, retirees are facing a cash flow problem, why the traditional retirement playbook may no longer be sufficient, and how alternative income-producing investments are changing the way people think about financial freedom. If you've ever wondered what happens after you built the wealth, how you actually turn it into lasting income, this episode is for you. Let's dive in. Before we begin, quick disclaimer. Nothing in this episode should be considered investment advice. Results discussed have not been independently vetted. Any claims made by the guests have not been verified. The content is for educational purposes only. Views expressed by the guests do not reflect those of the host or this show. Welcome to another episode of the Financial Freedom Podcast. Our guest today is Shawn. He's coming onto the podcast to discuss the 4% retirement withdrawal assumption that's under pressure and can't be relied upon any longer. He's co-founder, managing partner of Bequest Asset Management, a firm focused on real estate, mortgage loans, and energy infrastructure. I'm really happy to have him on. Shawn, welcome.
Chris, thank you for having me. Really excited that you'd have us on here. We're trying to educate people and bring opportunity to audiences like yours.
Briefly introduce yourself, how you got into what we're going to talk about today.
Thanks, Chris. The journey began years ago. I always had a passion for investing. My grandfather taught me the ropes back when I was a little boy. In order for me to earn my allowance, I'd have to go to his duplexes and do work around the place there. That's how I fell in love with investing. I got a degree in technology, went off into corporate America. I always had that passion to be an entrepreneur, but technology was paying well. So climbed the corporate ladder. I remember my first big check as an employee was to buy a duplex. On the weekend, I was cleaning up after people. I had Section 8 properties. During the week, I was flying around the country, selling technology to Fortune 100 companies. It wasn't until my mid-30s that I said, you know what? I need to break away from this. I need to start my own company. I started investing in mortgage notes and found an amazing opportunity to generate passive income. I was able to start a business around that, to share that investment strategy with the world. A little over 6 years ago, Bequest was founded. We took this investment strategy. We've been buying mortgage notes all across the US and generating passive income for investors looking for fixed income from investments and realized they were exchanging their time for money. We created a passive way of investing. For the past 6 years, we've been raising capital, deploying it in our alternative investment strategy and generating income. It's been going well.
What I found interesting, you founded this firm. It's less about the firm and more about educationals. One thing you talk about is the FIRE movement has a cash flow problem.
At points in your life, you realize that whether you're an entrepreneur or you've been successful at your career, in order to move into another stage of life, you've been relying on some type of income stream. You may have built up a nest egg, yet you don't want to tear that down to live off of it. So investors are starving for true passive income. They're looking for ways to replace that stream they had, that stream they relied upon, that stream that they were exchanging their time for their money. If you look in the marketplace today, there's few places where you can generate cash flow without exchanging your time for money. It's been about educating folks. There's other ways in alternate investment to generate cash flow without buying dividend stocks or investing in other avenues where that cash flow may or may not be there when you need it.
Because we're educating the audience, what are those forms that provide cash flow?
What was section landlord? That was passive income that I thought in my mind. Early on, when you're trying to build a portfolio, I can buy this property. All of a sudden, you're now exchanging time for managing these investments. The first mortgage I ever bought was on a duplex. I realized when I had a piece of property and the air conditioner broke, the roof leaked, or the pipes broke, I always had to go over there and fix it. When you're the bank and you own a mortgage on a piece of property, nobody's calling you to say the roof is leaking, the air conditioner is broke, yet I'm still getting paid every month as the guy who owns the mortgage. For me, it was about scalability. How can you scale this? In my mind, I'm like, I'll own hundreds of rental properties. That's an okay strategy as long as you can afford a really good property management company and you can still make some money. But for me, it was, what is the best way to scale? What I found was buying and holding mortgages allowed me to do it by myself out of a Starbucks. I could hold hundreds and thousands of mortgages, never get that call when something is broke because the bank always gets paid. The moment the bank doesn't get paid, there's ways for the bank to figure out how to get paid. That's the threat of taking the property back. I learned all of those strategies and I was able to generate passive income from a laptop. It's a complex marketplace, but it began with one or two notes the guy sold me back in 2017 when I started. I knew nothing about it. We've turned it into a business and thousands of mortgages across 40 states, generating passive income through these mortgages and other investments for hundreds of investors across the US.
What is wrong with the FIRE movement that is causing them to have a cash flow problem? What is the mindset that's causing them to have this issue?
I had this issue the other day. I was talking to a friend of mine who built up an amazing business. He's now at the point of his life where he wants to sell that business so that he could capitalize on all the work that he's done over the years. But he's in negotiations to get a huge payoff on selling this business to a private equity firm. He's going to get this big lump sum check. He was used to living on a few $100,000 salary from this business, and now that's gone. That doesn't sound like a very difficult problem. He invests his money, sell his investments every month or two, pay his bills. That seems like a lot of work. You spent your whole career, you've built up the business, you sold it, You got this big lump sum. Now, every few months, I'll sell stock to pay bills. There's other ways to do that. Alternative investments where you can put capital into fixed income products that will send you a check month after month, depending on what you invest in, and make sure your investment is safe and has a risk-adjusted return. Folks are searching for income. That's what we provide. For us, it's not an alpha play. You're not going to come and get income off of and generate a 20% return. We have to generate cash. We do that through debt instruments that we buy. There's a lot of people that are searching for income, a lot of successful entrepreneurs who relied upon salaries their whole life while they own these businesses. Now when they're exiting it out, they have an income problem. We help solve that for a lot of folks.
A quick question. Are you paying more in taxes than you should? Most high-earning physicians overpay by tens of thousands because their CPA only looks backwards, not forward. Gelt is different. Dedicated CPAs powered by AI that work year-round, not just at filing time. Tax strategy and proactive planning for practice owners, investors, and physicians with complex financial lives. Built specifically for professionals who want to keep more of what they earn. To find out more, check out jointgelt.com. That's jointgelt.com. Links are in the show notes below. You talk about why the 4% retirement withdrawal assumptions are under pressure and can't be relied upon.
It's always said that when you get to retirement age, that you've built up this nest egg years and years ago when your financial advisor told you, you're going to have enough. I'm going to make sure you have enough. By the time you retire, if we pulled 4% out of that portfolio every year, your portfolio should last until you're no longer on this earth. What many people are finding out is that 4% that their financial advisor told them years and years ago and built the portfolio around that, it's not enough. 4% today is not enough to live on anymore. They had a portfolio that was all growth minded, that was in stocks, and it grew in value, but nothing was ever throwing off any cash. Today, investors need to understand that there are other ways to generate cash flow without exchanging your time for money. You need to find those types of investments. Alternative investments is the place that you would go in order to generate those types of returns, cash that you need to fill the gap between the 4%. Maybe you need 6 or 7. You're going to need more cash flow than you thought you would. There's a lot of places for you to go to find fixed income type investments, mainly in alternative investments, mainly in private credit. There's been a lot of news around private credit. Most of it is not true, but most of the time when you're looking for an above average return, you're looking for cash flow, you're going to go to more of a private credit fund, mainly in the alternative space. And that can help solve for some of those gaps investors might have in their portfolio.
Get business done with the new American Express Graphite Business Cash Unlimited card. With unlimited 2% cash back on all eligible purchases, unlimited 5% cash back on flights and prepaid hotels booked through American Express Travel Online, and a flexible spending capacity that can grow with your business, you'll have the confidence to keep building. Apply today and earn a welcome offer of $1,500 cash back after you spend $50,000 in qualifying purchases on your new card within the first 6 months of card membership. Terms apply. Learn more at go.amex/graphite.
This episode is brought to you by Perfect Bistro Cat Food. Cats, this ad is for you. Has your human ever called you picky, persnickety, choosy? If so, Perfect Bistro Cat Food is for you. With ingredients like wild-caught tuna and pasture-raised lamb, tantalizing textures, and delectable flavors that meet even the most discerning cat standards. You're not picky, you're just perfectionists. Perfect Bistro, mealtime perfection for every cat. Have your human visit perfectbistro.com.
This summer, soccer is here, and so are the watch parties. And Uber Eats has your game day essentials covered with 30% off orders from Aldi, Kroger, and Dollar General. Everything you need to keep your crowd happy, delivered straight to your door. Chips, dips, fresh ingredients, and more. Order in so you can lock in for the games. 30% off your grocery order, only on Uber Eats for a limited time.
Tomorrow morning is knocking. Stock your fridge now. How about a creamy mocha frappuccino drink? Or a sweet vanilla? Smooth caramel, maybe? Or a white chocolate mocha? Whichever you choose, delicious coffee awaits. Find Starbucks Frappuccino drinks wherever you buy your groceries.
Do you hear that? Sounds like breakfast is ready. Because Quaker's coming in hot with morning nutrition. 100% whole grain oats and a good source of fiber to fuel the rhythm of your morning and kickstart your day. And that sounds absolutely delicious. Fuel to start whatever's next. Quaker, official sponsor of FIFA World Cup 26.
We have a lot of high income earners and professionals. They're thinking investing in mortgage notes is complicated. And honestly, there's a learning curve. There's things to watch out for, especially in the private area versus investing in S&P or NASDAQ. You can get pretty decent returns if you sell your company and put those into blue chip companies. Why not just do that?
Yeah, that's what a lot of folks are doing. In fact, most people are investing in Wall Street. That's where their capital is. Wall Street's been doing great for the past few years. We have a different perspective on that. We like hard assets. We like to put our capital in things that have stood the test of time for many years. While things have been going great with Wall Street, it's not a guarantee either. We tell our investors, you need to have diversification across your entire portfolio. One of my mentors, Ray Dalio, said, if you found 10 to 15 streams of non-correlated investments, you have eliminated 80% of the risk. So you could take all of your capital and put it in the S&P 500. If something changes in Wall Street, you are impacted severely. Anybody trying to build a portfolio, you need diversification. I'm not saying it's not a good idea to take your money and put it in the S&P. You probably should take your portfolio. There should be a segment in alternatives. If you need incomes inside your alternative bucket, should be a place where you're generating income with that alternative type investment. Streams of income you can rely upon are harder and harder to find. We believe in the S&P. We also believe that you need diversification in your portfolio in order to eliminate the risk of putting your eggs in one basket.
How does Bequest Asset Management differ in their approach compared to other asset managers?
It comes down to the investment strategy and what we are trying to accomplish for the investor. There's different asset managers that do different things. We belong in a segment of everybody's portfolio looking to generate income. If you're looking for fixed income, you would look at somebody like Bequest. Then you say, okay, maybe you're like every other private credit firm out there that's generating income, or different because we're not lending to software companies. We're lending to homeowners who live in their home. They're looking for equity. We focus in the second lien position. So we're lending second lien position in homes across America that have a lot of equity. People are looking to tap into that equity. We get a higher rate of return being in second position. We're able to offer those above average returns to our investors. We're very sophisticated operating in that environment. We buy these mortgages directly from banks that originate them. We hold them on our balance sheet for cash flow for our investors. We're a private credit firm that focuses on residential housing. If you look at the risk associated with investing in Bequest, our strategy is alternative, but it's focused in residential housing market, which we're bullish. There's still a shortage of houses in the U.S. The problem hasn't been solved. You look at every major city, they're looking for affordable housing. There's not enough to go around. We're bullish housing. We operate in that environment. That's the investment strategy that's different than other private credit firms out there looking to generate fixed cash flow for investors.
Final question. There's a lot of investors, they're non-accredited. You help them get exposure to institutional grade investments. Elaborate on that.
This is one of the most exciting things here at Bequest. It's why we have been growing rapidly in the past year and a half. There's very few Regulation A funds out there. We did a lot of work with the SEC a few years ago to get approved to take this to non-accredited investors. It's a big deal. There's a lot of regulation around it. You got audits, broker dealers. There's a lot of technical things around it. Because we accomplished all of that, for the first time ever, investors who are not accredited can take advantage of these types of investments. We've solved the problem that very few people have gone down because it's been so challenging. Even if you're accredited or you're non-accredited, you can invest IRA funds, capital that you have seen on the sidelines, into one of our funds and generate cash flow you need in your life. We're one of the very few funds that have an offering for both.
If people wanted to learn more about Bequest, how could they connect and reach out to you?
You can find me on LinkedIn, Shawn Muneio. We have a website. We'd love to have a conversation with you, determine what your objectives are. We may or may not be a good fit for you.
Let's zoom out. If you're a physician, founder, or high-income professional, and you feel like you're working harder every year, but not structurally freer, you're not alone. The mistake isn't effort, it's architecture. This show exists to help you convert expertise into scalable leverage, faster and with fewer expensive missteps. Here's the diagnostic I mentioned before. If your income requires your constant presence, if your capital isn't compounding outside your profession, if your highest value talent is doing low value tasks, you don't have a growth problem, you have a leverage design problem. And if you want to fix it with clarity instead of guesswork, I offer a limited number of one-on-one leverage strategy sessions each month. We audit your income model, capital deployment, authority positioning, and structural bottlenecks, and design your highest return move. If you're serious about compressing years into months, the link to apply is...
Meet the new iSIMS, the single talent acquisition platform that's fully future-ready. It works wherever and however you hire, with insights no one else offers. One solution that fits seamlessly into your existing tech stack, which is why IT and HR leaders trust it. With the best of enterprise-grade software and AI, iSIMS helps you identify and secure the right talent faster. iSIMS, powering exceptional hiring. Learn more at isims.com.
A burst pipe, a dead water heater, the AC calling it quits. Who do you call? HomeServe is an easy way to handle unexpected home repairs with plans covering stuff basic homeowners insurance usually won't. Instead of scrambling for a contractor, you make one call to get the repair process started. Join the millions of customers who trust HomeServe right now. Go to homeserve.com/podcast for 50% less your first year. That's homeserve.com/podcast. Savings compared to renewal price. Void in Florida.
Are you one of those media strategy people clicking through slides, scrolling spreadsheets? Yes? Good. This is for you. Because on Spotify, there's an audience that's different, locked in, loyal, invested. They're called fans. Fans don't just listen to music, they feel seen by it, like it belongs to them. So when your brand shows up on Spotify, that's who you're talking to. And you're right next to artists like me, Lizzo. So, are you ready to talk to fans? Spotify advertising. You're among fans.
Below.